everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my channel, welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to show you some ways of painting cute birds that you'll enjoy and find easy and fun, and which might possibly change your art life, as it did mine. For years I thought I'd learnt all I needed to know about wet in wet washes, and I believed I was doing it right, but actually I wasn't. It was only when I accidentally created this video, which is now heading towards 1 million organic views after 3 years on the circuit, that I realised my mistake. So today I'm creating with you an updated version of my cute, colourful birds. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is look at my materials for this painting. I'm going to use Lightwish paint today. This is a set that I received from Lightwish a while ago. I believe this is available now on Amazon for $48 for 48 colours, which is not bad. And they're actually pretty good paints. This is a tiny little tester swatch that I just painted when I had nothing better to do last night. And you can see the colours are pretty intense, and there's nothing wrong with these paints at all whatsoever in the slightest. Very good beginner set, every colour you could possibly want. And it comes in a nice solid metal tin in a lovely lilac colour. I painted my son's nursery this colour before he was born because I didn't know he was going to be a boy. Anyway, you know, I sort of thought lilac halfway between blue and pink, so that's the way to go. Anyway, moving on. This is the set. There are 12 in each row, presumably making 48. I've used them a few times, so they're not pristine. This is what they look like when they're swatched out on a piece of card. I like to do it on a piece of card that I can keep inside the tin, because that way I don't lose the swatch card. I just found the one that I was looking for the other day when I was using the Kuretake paints, and I was looking everywhere for this, and I've just found it in the bottom of something else, underneath something else, and so at least I found it anyway. And this is the regular 48 Kuretake. I don't know how much they are, something approximately the same, maybe a little bit more, I'm not sure, can't remember. Anyway, they're also very, very, very good, and I recommend them for beginners as well. What am I doing here? Oh yes, because I said the other day, didn't I couldn't sort out my paints because I couldn't remember which ones belonged in which set, the Art Nouveau or the regular paints. But anyway, now I can. I'll have to spend a happy half hour doing that. With this set of paints comes a card that you can use as a swatch card too if you want, but I don't think this is terribly good because it's not got, you know, it hasn't got boxes, so it's not very organised. But having said that, you can have one of these instead. This is also Lightwish. They're really very prolific at the moment, actually. I think, I don't know, don't tell anyone. I think they might have something to do with Paul Rubens, or so, I don't know. All these Chinese companies, they all seem to be kind of interconnected. Anyway, this is the one I've been using, and it's quite good because it does keep things handy. And if you can be bothered to punch 3 holes, then you could take one that you've done on another piece of paper and you could stick it in there and keep it in place. And I might do that because I've got this one too, this Artex watercolor pencils one. I'm going to be doing a review of these color pencils in a day or two. I don't do much in watercolor pencils, but yeah, I'm quite happy with the way they're turning out. So watch this space for that. So anyway, getting back to where I was originally going, I do tend to get a little bit random. It's the influence of my daughter. She's very random. She's always wandering off in strange places verbally. So we have our paints, and then brush-wise, what I'm going to be using today for this is I'm going to use my Princeton Aqua Elite number 8 round. A number 8 round of any type would do fine. I've also got the Neptune here too from Princeton in a size 8. You can see that they're different. This one has dried into a nice point. That one hasn't been wetted, so it won't have done, but to be fair, I think you can see that the hairs they're not bristles, their hairs are a little bit longer on the Aqua Elite. This brush, the Neptune, is a little bit softer, so it depends whether you prefer more spring or a little bit, that's gone stiff because it's got paint in it, or a little bit softer effect, but you know, they both work, they're fine. And I've also got 2 finer sort of detail brushes here from Meaden. which we'll use for the legs of the birds that we're going to paint. And I'll come back to Meaden in a minute. And I've also here got a few white paint options. That is to say white paint pens or acrylic markers, or I think that's probably the same as that. Gel pen, white, and this is a Posca pen. And I'm going to offer a tip at the end when we come to do the embellishments on what we're going to paint regarding how to use white. Note, I haven't got my P.H. Martins or my my other white acrylic paint, which comes in little pots. Haven't got that here. This is a constant source of irritation that these pens don't work properly, and the little pots of white paint don't really work properly either. What have I got? Oh yes, it's this one here, white gouache. It's okay, but I think I might have come up with a solution for what I want to be able to do to these birds. So hang in there till we get to that point. Paper, no, the other paint I'm going to use today is this. This is also light wish, although it doesn't say so. I think it's $16 on Amazon at the moment. If you do want anything from Amazon, please use our links. You've got links to all of the products that we're using today are in the description below. Anyway, so this is metallic paint. It's called Superior. It's made by Lightwish. They call them things like Aurora White, Aurora Indigo. God knows why. It's not indigo, it's pink. But anyway, that's what we're going to use, and you'll be surprised at how these look when they are mixed with paint, which is what we're going to do with them, I think, I hope. If I don't forget what I'm doing by the time I get there. Oh my God, the memory. When you're 70, your memory starts to go, doesn't it? I suppose it's just one of those blessings that we all have thrust upon us when we get older. Paper, I'm going to be using Meaden. Meaden cold press watercolor paper. This is a block. That is the way they sell it. This is a block as it comes. I've taken off the cellophane wrapper, and you will find that there's a sheet of, it's not green, right? This is a green protective color cover sheet, which we peel off. And then when we want to separate our painting from the rest of the block, we just slide a little knife in that gap there and go round the outside. Anyway, this is a 5x7. And if you want to do one bird, then that's big enough for one bird of this kind of ilk, that kind of size. This is a pad block of Academy. This is also from Meaden. This calls itself Bao Hong. It's the same paper, it's just got a different cover. So that is what they told me. And to be quite honest, I believe them. It looks the same, it acts the same. This is a bigger block. This one is 12x9, and I'm going to do that today because I'm going to draw onto here in a minute when I stop yakking. I'm going to draw onto here a row of 3 birds because this video is all about developing my cute colourful birds for beginners, which is a little video that I did by accident pretty much, as I mentioned before, and it's well on its way to having 1 million views. It's still climbing, still going up. That will be a miracle. That's not viral. It hasn't gone viral. It's just over the last 3 years gradually gone up, which is nice. You do feel like you've achieved something, don't you, when your videos actually keep climbing. A lot, you see, what happens, sharpening a pencil here. A lot of the time, what happens with videos for us creators is, first of all, you put them up and there's a little flurry of interest and they get a few thousand views if you're lucky. And then there's this break point after about 36 hours or something. And they either continue to go up, usually for maximum 3 days, or else they take a turn for the worse. And they don't go down because you can't have less, but they level off and they don't go anywhere. That happens a lot. And sometimes you wake up in the morning and you just want to cry. And it's funny because it's always the best ones that do the worst and the worst ones that do the best. But never mind. So we're going to put 3 birds on here, and I'm going to just draw the outline, and then we'll paint them in the way that I'm going to show you today, which I think is quite revolutionary in a way. Well, it's not really revolutionary. That would be saying a lot, but it's a development of, I'm trying to concentrate here, trying to talk and paint at the same time, draw at the same time. It's not easy. So I'm just drawing the tail, and then I'm going to draw the back of the bird, and then I'm going to come down here. Whoops, not there. Whoops, not there. No, not there. Come down here and up to here. Okay, and we can put his beak wherever we want, but we'll leave that until the end. So, and I'm going to get rid of that line because it's in the wrong place. Doesn't matter. And if you're not happy with your shape at this particular moment in time, you can change it a bit. Like that. I'll just rub out. When you're using watercolor paper, try not to erase too much because it doesn't improve the surface if you know. Okay, so that's one. Maybe I'll only do one. Perhaps I'll only do one today and I'll add the other two for the sketch. I think I might do that. Okay. So, what am I doing? Yes, right. I need some water. And I'll bring that over here. And I'm going to take my Aqua Elite brush, and then we will wet inside this area. And I'm wetting it fairly liberally. That means to say I'm going to dip my brush into the water and not do this, not wipe it off on the edge like you should do, and just shake it slightly. And then I'm going to pop the water in, and I'm carefully, relatively carefully, going around the edge of the drawing, such as it is, and putting plenty of water on, and going right up to the line. Now, the thing is, as I have been saying for the last 5 years, when you wet the paper, your watercolor paper, and then you put paint on it, that paint will not go outside of that water area. It won't. It can't. It can't do it. It is paralyzed into inactivity and won't go anywhere. Okay? So that's something to remember. So if you're doing 2 wings on a butterfly, for example, and you leave the body dry and you just wet the wings, you can happily put the paint on the wings and it won't run into the body, unless you're really clumsy. But we wouldn't do that, would we? So I'm looking at my swatch because all the dark colours look the same and you can't tell whether they're black, brown or blue, or even some of the reds are really, really dark. So I want something like dark blue, like this one here, which is probably indigo. So I identify that as being in row 2, 4 down, so it's here. Ta-da, that is correct. There's a lot of pigment in these paints. Nothing wrong with these paints at all when it comes to pigment strength. So we pick some up from the little pan and just try it out on my palette area here. Always advisable to do that, otherwise you might find that you've picked up the wrong colour, or it's not dark enough, or something. Anyway, so now we're going to put this into our bird. Just make sure that the water is more or less even. And I'm going to go from the top of the tail, and I'm just going to tap lightly into that wet area and allow the paint to flow. Capillary action, they call it. Flow into the body of the bird. And I've just gone along like that. I'm not too worried about where it seems to be going, how it seems to be behaving, what it seems to be doing. None of that matters. I'll just clean off my brush and rinse it out because I had a lot of paint on there. It's a nice, strong indigo. And then you can do any colour you like. It doesn't matter. This is not realistic. I'm going to look for a turquoise. anything, doesn't matter what you use. And you can really play around with this. If you were a person who wanted to make lots of cards, this is a very good idea, very good design that you could use. And every time you did it, it would be different. So I'm not painting a house, right? I'm not going from side to side to side to side. I'm just literally dabbing in this paint and watching what happens. And then, once I've got enough of this paint in, I will go and have lunch while it dries. Okay, so let's put a little bit more up here, maybe. And you can choose what color do you want, you know, what color do you want now? Shall we go for a nice sap green kind of color, something bright like that will be a nice contrast to the indigo. I think that would be good. So we'll just dab, 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 and let the colors meet up and make friends. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit down here. Resist the urge to smooth. Do not smooth your paint. That is what I would say. Now I'm going to get some yellow, and because these are what you could call, they're tending to the cool colors, aren't they? They're more kind of, they're not on the red spectrum, they're on the more on the blue spectrum. So we'll look for a nice acidy kind of yellow like this. Not one of these warm ones. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. So these are your acid yellows and these are your warm colors here. So we'll put some sort of acidy kind of yellow here. And let me think. I think probably we want to look at my color chart and think to myself, what would go well with what we've got there? We're not finished yet, by the way. The paint is going to be moving in a minute. If I wanted to put something warm in there, I think I might go for purple like this, which is kind of contrasty. Let's see what happens. So that's the second row across, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All good children go to heaven. There we go. So we pop a bit of that in there. Not too much. And now I'm going to pick it up and just let it move around a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to take some of my metallic color. This is a water brush. Comes free with this set. So let's just pick up some of this metallic. It doesn't look like anything. It doesn't look metallic, does it? It doesn't look like anything. And I'm going to add this to the paint on the bird. And we need a fair amount of water. And this is going to look very wasteful. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to do a little bit of vacuuming and vacuum up some of the paint, which I think I might have lost my design a little bit here. So I'm just going to vacuum up a little bit of this superfluous water. Just a little bit, because otherwise it'll take forever to dry, you see. So we're just taking up a little bit. You could leave it, you could, honest, but it will take forever to dry. Anyway, so I've got my metallic, and then I'm just going to dab it in, all right? Just dab it in, and you can't really tell what's going to happen. until everything is dry. And as soon as it starts to look a bit dirty, like those ones there, get rid of that and put some clean in. It's very wasteful. Okay, so you can't see it at all. Can't see what's going to happen there, so you have to wait until it's dry. And when it's dry, you might be impressed with the effect. Okay, so that's that. And what I probably will do is put another one here and another one here, and that will make a complete picture. But for the time being, we'll concentrate on this one. And next thing we have to do is think about the legs while that's drying, and the beak, but probably not the beak until this is dry, because if I put a yellow beak in here, the green will run into the yellow because the yellow will be wet. But it doesn't matter about the legs, okay, because it doesn't matter if they kind of bleed in or if the body bleeds out. So we're just going to put a thin line down here for the legs, 1 and 2. You can put the legs coming straight down if you want. It's up to you. And you could give him a black beak if you wanted to. So we could come up here and we could just say, okay, have a little beak, just a tiny little beak like that. And he's looking good. And what needs to happen now is he needs to be left alone for a while to ponder on the meaning of life and where all his friends have gone. And I'm going to go and have lunch, and I'll come back and finish this off. Okay, so there we are. Okay, so now this is completely dry and we can go on to the next phase of this painting. I'm going to kind of embellish it, and it's often difficult at this point to decide exactly what you want to do. So I'm going to just kind of throw caution to the wind and hope that everything works out. I want to do something which is kind of halfway between these two. This one is from a while back now. I think I must have done this around about Christmas time, and it was just a little doodle. And I like the surrounding leaves and berries on that one. And this one's got more in the way of a dotty pattern, and it's got flowers painted into it. This one is outlined in pen as well, so that's also different. So, you know, you can sort of blend the two ideas, really, I suppose, would be one way to go. We've given him his beak already, and what I need to do really is give him an eye. And there's a little kind of space there where there seems to be the right place for the eye. So I'm going to pop that in there like that. Of course, then once you've done that, you've got to put the highlight in the eye. And at this point, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to have first of all a brief complaint about products that we have to deal with, and then I'm going to come up with some kind of a solution. It's not a perfect solution, but it's something. I've got a whole collection of white pens here, Artistro white paint pens. Somebody recommended these to me, and so I've got a few of those, but although it says extra fine tip and everything, I mean, you can see, if you look carefully, you can see that the paint is separated. I'm pretty sure that is separated so that it's thick at one part and thinner at another part, which is going to make it difficult to use. This Posca pen has never worked since I had it. I can't make it work at all. This is another one similar to this. I think it might even be pretty much the same. It's just got a different colour case and doesn't say Artistro on it. I actually don't know where that came from, but that sort of works-ish. This is a Pentel hybrid gel, and that no longer works because when you open it up, you'll find that it's almost empty of ink, but even before it was empty, it had more or less ceased to function. The only one I've got that works is this one. And the problem with the Artex acrylic markers of this type is that they are very good at giving a lovely white mark, like this. Hang on. Big blob. relatively small blob. But you can't go much smaller than that. But they're not very good for thin lines and tiny dots. And I suddenly had a brainwave the other day. Doesn't have to be anything terribly extravagant for me to have a brainwave, but I thought if I was to dip the nib of this or this into the ink from this, would that work? So what I did was I released some ink like that, just pressing rapidly onto the paper. I suppose I should put that back on. And then I took my dysfunctional Pentel and I dipped it in there and I tried it out. And lo and behold, I have a tiny dot. So I thought that that made me laugh. It really did. It made me think, wow. So now I have a solution. I think what I ought to do then is buy some white acrylic ink. What do you think? I think that could be the solution, and use a worn-out pen as a dip pen. So meanwhile, I have managed to get this one working. So I'm just going to put in some little dots here for a sort of necklace around this bird. And I'm going to put in a pattern on his tail. What am I going to do? Oh, I need to look at my doodles book. Oops. Have ideas for doodles here. What can I do to make this bird more doodle friendly? That's what I'm wondering. So let's have a quick look in here. Got lots of ideas for things. Yes, I was thinking about putting hearts and spirals and things like that. I like to keep my ideas in these transparent file pockets, and I've got some ideas here that I had photocopied. Yes. So many different things you can do, aren't there? I'm going to do some little lines on here first. And do some, press a little bit harder, they come out a little bit bigger. And that one has got a stem. That's the idea. There we are. And let's do some slightly bigger ones here too. And I'm going to then switch to a really quite small brush, and I'm just going to pick up some green, dark greeny blue, I think. And I'm going to paint on here some faint leaves. These are all ideas that I've done over the years. They're not original in the sense of, you know, you see these ideas everywhere and you don't even know where they originated because you can't really tell. But if you think it's too dark, just take a piece of tissue and just lift some of it up, and then you get a kind of, what do you call it? A sort of vintage effect, as if it's faded a little bit. one of these small brushes with a very small size with a good point, that gives you more control. You don't always want to paint with a lot of control, but sometimes you do. And you can also, actually, you could use the ink there if you wanted to just put in very faint veins. And we could paint some little white flowers, couldn't we? What about doing something like that? Use the brush, use the ink I got out of my acrylic marker, because I don't have any white ink handy. There we are, and we could put little dark dots in the middle, the centre of the flower, like that. I'm not sure I like that row of lines there, so I think I might paint over that. You can always change things. Just need a slightly thicker paint, so you can go in there and cover it all up if you didn't like it. And wait for it to dry, and then you can put some more dots in if you want. Yeah, I didn't like those little lines. You never can tell, can you? And then what we could do too, I could pick up some green. I need to refer to my chart because I don't know where the colours are. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's this one. And we could give him something to stand on. And then we could give him some leaves. I might switch to a slightly bigger brush for that. So I just do the little stems a bit darker. Mix up the colours a little bit. You don't want them to be all the same, so just drop a little bit more of a different colour in. And yeah, I'm going to put some berries in now, and I'll use the small brush again with some red, I think, a sort of orangey red. And I just wanted to mention, this is my reminder moment for people who are interested in being kept in touch with what's going on our website and in general on our channel, what we're doing for you and with you. We do have something on our website now, dianeantone.com. If you pop along to there, and you will find the opportunity to purchase or to obtain free of charge our sketches that go with all of our paintings. And what you have to do is you just buy what we're calling an insider's pass, which is $1, $1 US dollar, 2 Canadian, €1 or £1, and that gives you permanent membership of the channel, of the website. And every month you get credited with 10 tokens, which you can use to purchase sketches. So you just swap the credit for a sketch. And it's all very simple. When you go there and you look into it, you'll find out it's quite straightforward, and you'll be able to make that work. Automatically, every month you get another 10. So if you haven't used them, you get another 10. They don't roll over, so you don't gradually accumulate hundreds and hundreds of credits. It's not like air miles. But if you need more than 10 and you're a member of our channel, you can ask and you will be given more. It's just, we had to set this up because of security on websites these days is getting worse and worse. So to protect you from anything happening to your card details and so on, that's what we have had to do. So there we are, that's that. And I think I might use a little bit of black pen on here, if I can find it, is that the right one? No, that's not the right one. Don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Where did I put it? Oh, God. Where did I put it? This one will do. Okay, I'm just going to quickly sketch over these leaves and give them a bit more shape, give them some veins, a centre vein. Just go around the berries a little bit. And I seem to have taken up quite a lot of space. I don't think I could fit 2 more on here, probably not even 1 more, but you get the idea. You could do it a little bit smaller. And if you wanted to, you could take this black pen and you could pop into here and perhaps outline some of the flowers, petals with a little bit of black. You don't have to go exactly where the white is. Like that, and you could kind of emphasize these as well if you wanted to, and do whatever you like really, but it's just an idea for doing something that looks a little bit antique-y, a little bit rustic. And I think I'm going to stop around about there. Let's put a little shape to his beak, go around the outside a bit too, to give him a little bit of an edge. You get a bit of an edge there anyway with the paint that we dropped in and the way it kind of goes to the edge because of all the water, which carries the pigment to the edge of the wetness, so to speak. And if you wanted to put a bit more of the gold on, you could do that too. Where's it going? I'm not sure if you can see that, but there is a certain amount of shimmeriness there on the back of the bird there. You could increase that if you wanted to, or you can just leave it the way it is. So I think I'm going to leave that there. And yeah, I thought that's okay. Not too bad. That one, similar. This one, also similar. And we have various different options as to how you're going to do a project like this. So I will say goodbye for now. Don't forget about the Insider's Pass. Don't forget to visit our website. And I will put a sketch of the 3 birds, not the 3 that I did all those years ago, but 3 similar to this one on one sheet. So if you're not confident with drawing, then you'll be able to just trace round the ones from the sketch. And right, I shall let you go. and I'll see you again soon. Take care, keep well, and have a great time painting this week. And I'll say bye-bye for now, everybody. Bye-bye.